Alright, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today I just want to show you guys a couple of small little boxes that I made over the last few years, 2 years maybe. But I'll start with a very recent example, something I finished just yesterday, and that is this small box over here. So a couple of things that I think are nice about this one. Obviously I made this, so I'm biased, right? One of the things, for example, is the absence of hinges. So instead of hinges, I used 8 little magnets. So it closes like this, right? And there is no gapping because the magnets really pull pretty hard on the lid. So also because there's the spacing at the front and the back is slightly different, right? You can't mix this up, right? So like this, it doesn't fit. Like so it does. So the grain is continuous, and this is preserved in closing this little box. It's also much simpler, right? I hate fitting hinges, to be honest. I think they're so fiddly, and it's always where I get very, very nervous when I make these boxes. Yeah, for me, boxes like this are very much about veneer, or at least about the lid, right? Or maybe even the inside. I think this beautiful piece of white ebony veneer at the back is just beautiful, as is this Japanese maple veneer here. Very, very pretty. But really, this box is all about the lid, right? About the outside, as it should be. And this is a small foray into the art of marquetry. This is one of the first things I made in Marquetry. I started this just over a year ago when I made a small serving tray featuring a peacock. Yeah, it's nice. This is the third project I'm doing on Marquetry. This is a daffodil. I hope you can recognize it. I just made this by taking a picture of a daffodil that we happen to have in our living room, and then I turned this into black and white probably. I started this over a year ago, finished it yesterday, right? Some of my projects take a very long time to finish. Printed this, right? And then you have a design. You can copy this with transfer paper, and then cut out the various bits of veneer with a small knife. And like this, it's very, it's precise work, but it's not, I wouldn't say it's not as demanding as making a plane. That's definitely not true. But you can do this, and if you sit down for like half an hour, you can cut a couple of petals, right? I think that is something I like during the week, you know, on a school night. Maybe you're tired, you don't have so much time to do stuff, but still you can do a little bit of marquetry, and I really like the result. I know. I'll put this a little bit closer. Hope you can see it well. Hope there's not too much reflection coming from the window. All right, so that is one thing. Then the first real project. Oh no, that was the serving tray. The second project I did on Marquetry, so that was the third thing I did just show you, is this box over here, a little bit larger. This is a mahogany box, reclaimed mahogany. You can't really tell it's reclaimed, it just looks like a beautiful piece of mahogany. With hinges, this time, quadrant hinges. Still need to finish fitting them. It's not quite perfect, there's a little bit of gapping here. And this has been sitting on my workbench for about 10 months, just because I really don't like fitting hinges. But I like the marquetry. So this is a bunch of flowers. They could be tulips, maybe. Well, they're bright in colour. I have 3 different shades of red here. So the normal commercial red veneer, and then I used a red and an orange dye to get slightly different shades of red, so you can recognize the individual petals. Also, if you orient the grain of the wood differently, you get this effect. All right, I'm no expert by any means, right? This is just my second attempt at doing marquetry, so yeah, I'm learning a lot as I go along. Yeah, birch veneer as a background, and I like this. I like it, and it's lots of fun. So when I make a plane, right, this is a 3-dimensional shape. All of a sudden this is 2-dimensional. And this for me is foreign, really. I don't like drawing so much. I was never good at any drawing. I know my father used to tell me if you want to do any art, which I don't, you know, anything always starts with drawing skills. and which I don't really have so much. So for me, working in 2D is foreign, but it's lots and lots of fun. Okay, so then this is a different box. This is a jewelry box that I made for my wife 2 years ago, and this is again, this is reclaimed mahogany. It's the same, comes from the same source as this stuff. This time, no marquetry here, but bronze. So these are individual pieces of bronze aligned in a sunburst pattern, I think this is called, that my wife and I came up with jointly. And these are all hand-cut pieces, right? So took a lot of time to get this right? This many small bits of bronze need to be aligned into a virtually perfect square, right? And all the errors, of course, they add and they multiply, and very, very fiddly to get this right. And then I added a chamfer here on the sides of the piece of bronze to get the sunburst pattern. The bronze has been holding up very well, right? There's a little bit of staining patina, if you will, but we hardly ever polish this, maybe once a year. So it, yeah, holds up. It's been holding up very, very well. All right, just want to finish. So on one of my previous videos, I was talking about this nice little plane here. I called this the statement number 1, and then I said, well, I'm also working on a larger version of this, right? And during the Christmas break, I'll be working and hopefully be finishing this plane, which indeed is a larger version, also different in many aspects. Just need to finish the iron and the cap iron and all that stuff, right? Ebony. This time the sides are copper, not bronze, and I've used this ammonia and salt recipe to get a nice blue patina going on the sides. All right. So much for the boxes, right? Ultimately, we're back to 3-dimensional shapes. Okay, thank you. Bye.